We are quickly approaching the end of 2025, and I have started so many series over the last year and a half that I never finished. And so here's some of the series that I hope to finish before the end of 2025, and maybe you can help me decide where to start with these. The first is the Huntress series by Janine Frost. This is one of my favorite series to go to between other heavier books or when I've been reading a lot and just want something to like turn my brain off to. This is a series about Kat, who is a half vampire, half human, and that gives her some really special abilities. And she is basically a vampire hunter along with her vampire husband, Bones. They are one of my favorite bookish couples. They're so funny, they're so ridiculous, but there is a little bit of heart tucked into these books, as ridiculous as they are. They're very unserious. There's like ghosts and ghouls, and there's a lot of humor in these books, but there is some heart tucked in there, enough to get me to kind of be hooked on their story. There is a ton of books in this series. I think there's something like 15 books in this series. I've read like 6 or 7 of them, but I'd like to finish out the series by the end of the year and maybe start something new by Janine Frost, because I know that there is a lot of series under that author. So that is something that I'm excited for. I will probably listen to these in audiobooks. I love the graphic audios of these books. They're so funny and they're just such an easy listen. The Never After series by Emily McIntyre, so much fun. I've read 2 of the, I believe, 5 books that are in the series. So I've read Hooked and I've read Scarred. Hooked is the Peter Pan retelling and Scarred is like a Hamlet / Lion King retelling. They are both so good. They're literally 2 of my favorite romance, bordering on dark romance books where the villain gets a happy ending at the end of the story. So Hooked is about Wendy and she meets up with James Barry, who is sort of our Hook in this scenario, and that one was so good. I remember reading that back in 2023 and just like becoming immediately obsessed. And this was before I knew really about like dark romance or anything like that. So this was sort of my first dark romance, and it's so good. It's so good to this day. It's one of my favorite romance books. I love it. It's so much fun. It's so magical, but like not magical. Like there's no magic in it, but it just really does feel like you're reading a darker version of the fairy tale. And I loved it. And then Scarred, I was like, Scarred's not going to be as good as Hooked. Scarred was even better than Hooked. It was so good. The main character, the villain in Scarred, so hot and so devious. And just, it's so good. It's so well written, and it makes me so excited to go on and read the other books in the series. I think Emily McIntyre can do no wrong. She's an angel. I love her, and I really want to dive into the series. That's why I want to finish it this year, because I just want to read the other books. I'm currently reading Burning Daylight by Emily McIntyre, which is a Romeo and Juliet retelling where they get to have a happy ending. It's so good. It's so good. She's so good. She really knows how to write a story that just hooks me from the first page. And I just think she really knows how to write like slow burn romances better than a lot of people. And I am such a sucker for a slow burn. So that is the number 2 series, and I am so excited about it. I started the Shadow and Bone series about a year ago. I read the first book and it was a little slow for me, and truthfully the only reason I'm really reading the series is so I could read Six of Crows, because that's been recommended to me so many times over and over again, and I'm really excited to read Six of Crows, but I know that I should get through the Shadow and Bone series before I try to move to Six of Crows. So essentially I'm reading it to get to something else, but I did like it. It just wasn't like fast paced. It didn't make me want to dive right into the second and third book. And so I've kind of been putting it off for a while. I'm not a huge fantasy reader. I feel like I have to be in a specific kind of mood to read fantasy. And so that has kind of been a bit of a block as far as getting to reading the other 2 books in the series. I do own them. I've owned them for a while. They were actually gifted to me by my friend Tay over on TikTok, who is just such a beautiful soul. And So I really do want to finish the series. I really like the characters in the series. Again, there was a lot of world building and sometimes it's hard for me to dive into that. So I'm putting this towards the top of my TBR. When I'm in the mood for a fantasy read, I'm going to reach for the second book in the Shadow and Bone series, which I believe is Storm and Siege, and then Rise and Ruin is the third. And that way I will be all primed and ready to go to get into like the heist book, which is what I'm really excited about. I can't wait to read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So who knows when that's gonna happen. I'm hoping it'll happen by the end of the year, but we're very quickly approaching the end of the year and there's just so much I want to get done. I don't know, maybe I should be reading instead of making this video. I have no idea. I currently have Daydream checked out from the library and I've had it checked out the library for quite a while. I'm going to try to renew it so that I can get through this book because it's the last book in the Maple Hills series that I haven't finished. I, full disclosure, hated Icebreaker. Like, I hated it. I rated it 2 stars and I pretty much only rated it 2 stars because I got through to the end of it. However, there was some elements of Icebreaker that made me believe that it had potential for a second and third book in this series. I really liked the side characters. I liked Henry, I liked Sabrina, I liked Russ, I liked the best friend, I forget his name. I just really didn't like Nate and Stassi. I could not stand Stassi. I really didn't like Stassi at all. And Nate was just like the most blah guy. Like, he didn't really have a personality. And I didn't like that about it. But I did feel like it had potential. Like, I was like, I can't wait to read these other characters' books. So Russ got the first sequel. It was Russ and Aurora. It was in like a summer camp setting. It was sort of like a little bit of like a forbidden romance. I loved that. I had a really good time. I loved it. It was so much better than Icebreaker and actually had like plot and substance to it. I'm hoping that Henry's book has plot and substance to it because Henry is my favorite character in the series. So if he doesn't have plot and substance, I'm going to lose my mind. But hopefully I'll get to this soon because I think it's the last book in that series. I don't remember hearing about another book in that series. If there is another book in that series, then I probably won't finish it this year. However, I do believe this is the last one. And I am very excited about Henry's story. So hopefully I will get to this soon because look how cute it is. It's so cute. Look at it. It's adorable. This is Hallie. Hallie is the love interest in this. And she looks so cute. And I can't wait to read about them. I can't wait. It's gonna be so cute. I first read Done and Dusted when it was still a little indie book on Kindle Unlimited, and Lily Sage was like, please go read my new book. It's my debut book. I fell in love with this series. I read this book in one sitting, which I don't do very often. I fell so deeply in love with this book. I could not stop talking about it. I told everyone I know to read this book. All my friends ended up reading it and loving it. And as the series has gone on, I've just fallen more and more in love with Lila Sage's writing, but also the world of the Blue Rebel Ranch. It's just so beautiful. I love that sort of like cowboy setting and the characters that have developed within that world, that little family. The Meadowlark family has become like family to me. I love nothing more than a really good found family trope, and Lila Sage has done that so well with this family, with bringing in Luke and Clem and all the other people, Dusty and all the other people into this world. Amos is such a good dad, and just they've blended together so seamlessly. Every addition to the series so far has just been like so good, and it's added to the story. And I find in a lot of standalones, it kind of gets to the point where you're just like, I don't care. I don't need to know about that, like that thing that happened 10 years later. And like the epilogues are always just like too much. Not so with this series. It's so good. It's so beautiful. Every romance story, so I've read the first 3. I haven't read the last one. But every romance story in this has been so unique and has had its own like pace of the book and feeling of the book, and the vibe of the relationship has been very different. The banter's been very different. And I just think that's like such a unique thing because I feel like sometimes in standalone series, they kind of get repetitive. That interconnectedness, it really shows. And I just like don't feel that was so with the Blue Rebel Ranch. So I'm very excited to read the final book in the series and close that out and then move on to the new series because Soul Searching is already out. I haven't gotten to it yet and I am so excited to get to it. I'm so excited to get it. I am such a huge fan of Lila. Some honorable mentions to finish would be A Vine Mess by Tessa Bailey and also The Bellinger Sisters by Tessa Bailey. They're both duologies. I've read the first book in both of those series. series, and they're so much fun. They're so silly. I love Tessa Bailey because I think that she's kind of ridiculous and silly and isn't afraid to be like very leaning into the tropes and just give you like a very kind of carefree romance, and I really like that. I think that we need more of that in romance. I loved both those series, like the first books in the series, so I really want to read the last 2 books in both of those series. I believe it is Hook, Line, and Sinker for the Bellinger sisters, and Unfortunately Yours for A Fine Mess. Secretly Yours was really funny. It had like secret admirers and hidden notes and longtime childhood crushes. It was so much fun. And then for the Bellinger sisters, the first book was It Happened One Summer, which was just kind of a mess. It's about these 2 like influencer rich party sisters who get sent to live in this like very small fishing town as a punishment, and the spoiled brat kind of falls in love with this like very rough and gruff fisherman, and you know, it's hot and it's fun, and I can't wait to read the second book in the series. So those are kind of like my honorable mentions because they're not like big series that I have to get through, but I still want to get through them. And the last series on this list is the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read the first book, The Naturals, loved it. I have said this so many times, but it's like reading Criminal Minds, except they're teenagers with like hormones and like there's a love triangle. It's so much fun, but also it doesn't feel too young. Like obviously there's young adult elements in it and you can feel that, but I love reading young adult books. I feel that sometimes there's a little bit more thought put into plot as opposed to spice. I don't mind spice. I like spice in my books too. However, sometimes I just don't need all that. And The Naturals is such a good mystery and then has this like little romantic element weaved in. I'm really excited to read the other books in the series to see Cassie's story develop, but not just Cassie's story. I want to see the side characters' story develop as well. They did a really good job of like giving you little bits of information about these side characters, but not like a full-on backstory for them. And it really wants to make you dive in and learn more about them. So I'm really excited to finish that series. I have a feeling that Jennifer Lynn Barnes is going to become an author that I just like go back to over and over again. I do own a copy of The Inheritance Games, which is another series by Jennifer that I would like to eventually start, but I'd like to finish the Natural series first because I loved The Naturals and I am really excited to go on and finish the series, hopefully by the end of this year. That's it for today's video. It's quite a bit of series already that I want to finish this year, and I have so many other series that I'm in the middle of. I have a habit of not wanting to just read things back to back to back. Maybe I should get into reading them back to back to back so I won't be stuck in the middle of so many series again and find myself in this exact same dilemma next year. But this is where I'm at right now. I would like to finish some of these by the end of the year. Maybe you can come along with me. Maybe we can do a vlog together reading those series and finish them out and sort of putting them to bed for now so I can move on to other series. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like these in the future. I post every Friday at 9 a.m. and I will see you in the next one.